All right, let's go. So this should be a good, interesting, fun day. How are we on this Thursday, the first Thursday of the NFL season, which is important because that means hockey comes soon. Speaking of hockey coming soon, everybody knows situation with the LTIR being changed, and now it's going to take, the new rules are going to take effect this year. On one hand, it's hard to complain and whine as a Panther fan right now. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear it. World's smallest violin. On the other hand, it seems somewhat malicious to just change the rules on the entire league like 10 days, 2 weeks before camps are going to start. There's a lot of things that would have gone down differently, I suspect, with a lot of teams had they known this is the way things were going to go. But it is what it is, was what it was. So we'll have to find our ways to deal with it. All right, let's blow up this chat. How we doing, Simon? Good to see you. Hungry? By the way, if anybody emailed me, I haven't had a chance to check my email. Been kind of fighting off headaches and nausea the last couple of days, so I've been limiting. Hungry says, I keep hearing that the NHL favors us, yet they keep making decisions that hurt us. Yeah. I mean, obviously the whole thing with the LTIR changes is for the betterment of the league. I don't even necessarily disagree with the changes, but I've never seen something like this where they just randomly decide to vote and move the changes forward up a year, like right next to the season. I mean, that to me is just, but okay, piss the Panthers off. That's the way I was looking at it yesterday. It was like, okay, piss us off. Make it so that, the Panthers feel a little bit, what's the word? Targeted. Colin, they leaked the third jersey. I had to check that out. Simon, we'll talk about that a little bit. Swash says, I'm so mad the NHL would change the rule 2 weeks before the season. I have a feeling it has to do with all the butthurt Canadian teams that haven't won in over 30 years. I mean, I don't know how those votes go. I know that it's the teams and the Players Association. Why the Player Association would vote to change it, I don't know. I don't know what benefit they get unless they wanted it to have. They wanted the dress code relaxation to take into effect. Terrace, it should be illegal. It's just crazy that they could do this so close to the season. Hungry says the rumor has it that the catalyst for the change was the Oilers LTIR shenanigans, which is ironic. Yeah, that's kind of ironic. Like, I'm just surprised that the league would even consider changing it so close to the season. It just boggles my mind. I'm sure the list of things that teams would have done differently is big. Sfosh says, I think it's going to be almost impossible to three-peat now with this change. We need to survive the first 3 months without Chucky. Colin says, not worry about the LTIR problem, but this will affect the trade deadline going forward. Well, yeah, because they also got rid of the accrued cap thing. So when you trade for a guy at the deadline, you have to have room for his entire salary. Everything they've done basically hurts player movement. I don't understand. I understand why the league wants things a certain way. I don't understand why the players are in favor of some of this stuff, but I'm sure there's intricacies I don't know about. Charo, yeah, we're going to be live tonight with the Cowboys and Eagles. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, what's the fine for being over the cap? Right, Craig? Yeah, that's baseball, right? With the luxury tax. Oy. I think Vincent says the timing is strange, which means it was my fault. Oh, sure. I mean, come on. I took the day off for my birthday, and that's when the Chucky news about the surgery gets released. I said I'm going to take the day off because I'm taking Kyle to go see Jaws, and they announced it's definitely my fault. No doubt. No doubt. So I don't have any more days off planned until after we win the Cup again in June. Kazuma says so many Canadian fans are now trolling Panther fans after the LTIR news. Saw one comment saying your run is over. Yeah, I mean, we do have to make a move. What I've come to the conclusion of, I think with the way that it works, is we do get some relief. So I don't think we have to move Rodriguez now, but we do have to shed some salary. To me, it makes sense that Zito kind of thought, Zito might have known this was coming, and that's why we got Kunin, because you can now move Boquist and you keep Kunin, who's a viable replacement for Boquist, and you're cap compliant while Chucky is out, while he's out. So that may be the only move we have to make right now. And then, but what it does change is that, remember, we talked about how if Chucky stayed out the whole year, that we would have money to play with if we needed to add somebody. That's gone. That's gone. So the only incentive now for Tkachuk to stay out the whole year is so we can keep Rodriguez, which is still pretty good motivation. But I think the way that this is going to work right now is that you'll see Boquist moved and we keep Kunin. I can't imagine that makes the Kunin signing, it makes it make sense. Hungry, yeah, getting rid of the accrued cap is going to make the trade deadline more boring. Yeah, they've made things more difficult. Simon, yeah, we had a good time yesterday. We had the whole theater to ourselves. We had a good time. Vincent says, but it doesn't change much for the Panthers. Playoff cap is strict. Okay, if Tkachuk comes back for the Olympics, Erod goes. Right. Yeah. When I first heard it, I didn't realize that we were going to get some cap relief. I thought it was just, but the Boquist thing, that we do have to clear $700,000 or something like that. Yeah, exactly, Craig. I agree with you there. Yeah, Soflo says we're still the best team in the world. Marchand and Lundell are on the third line. We can afford losing Erod, even though we all love him. Exactly. Hey, Trey. What time is it over there, man? You think the Flying Fluffy channel should have a dress code? I see I got a super chat here. Let me scroll down here. Oh, there we go. There we go. Thank you, Eyes. Thank you, bud. Much appreciated, buddy. He says, I hope the Leafs win the Cup this year so we control the Leafs fans and say the league had to change the rules so the Leafs can win a Cup. Yeah, no. Now we need to win the third in a row without the L. Now we have fresh motivation. I like it. Trey says, I guess I got to sell the car fast so you can get back. Right. Soflo says, I'm one of the few Panther fans that actually love Boquist. He's a talented player that is getting way underpaid. You think on any other team he makes $2.5 to $4 million as a top 9 forward. I mean, remember he was a like a PTO, wasn't he? Was he a PTO or a waiver pickup? Maybe I'm remembering that incorrectly. I know about underpaid, but we can agree to disagree there. He scored a lot early on in the season and then just completely dried up. Simon, yeah, her not having to drive that hour to work is fantastic. So it says Kunin's not a Boquist replacement by any means, maybe in terms of his role. Well, that's what I mean, is his role. You know what I mean? It's 11-12, Trey. Gotcha. Yeah, I agree with Kazuma. I don't want to deal with a whole summer of annoying Leaf fans, right? Occam says if we win a third year in a row, they might just stop the NHL altogether. He was a free agent pickup. So he was free, right? Maybe it was his brother that was the PTO. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, SoFlo says Adam Boquist was the PTO. And then we signed Jesper for league mate. Right. Gotcha. Okay. As far as no, what was the Kazuma says, can we win without Rodriguez and Boquist? I believe so. Yes. Sam Iskevich takes the next step. As far as says, do I think Kunin can get his 10 to 12 goals? I think he had 11 last year. Let me look that up, but I believe that. I mean, he's not a black hole offensively. Luke Kunin. Let's look. He's not a black hole offensively. Come on, give me his stats. Yes, I understand about the cookies. So let's see. His goal production has been 2, 6, 15, 10, 13. And then he had 5 for the Sharks, and he only played 31 games. And then he had 11 for the Sharks, and he had 11 last year. So, yeah, I mean, 10. He's not a real big assist guy. But, yeah, 10 goals, 10 to 12 goals is not unheard of for Kunin, and you know, he's going to be playing with much better teams right now, or much better players right now. I mean, it is what it is, right? I mean, to me, that's what makes sense about bringing him in, is that we're going to move Boquist. I mean, unless they're just going to trade Kunin now. I mean, it would, you know, somebody's got to go. One $700 and something thousand salary has to go. Greg says Kunin will be more physical than Boquist, right? Vincent says people forget we didn't have Marchand last year. We don't have holes on the roster. We're losing non-roster depth. We're fine. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It just makes things a lot more tighter now. You know what I mean? And, you know, if we have to trade Boquist, then that seems to be the obvious one, right? Matthew, who will be the most improved player? I would assume that would go to Sam Iskevich, right? But you might see Luosterainen. If Luosterainen's able to play a full season, you know, with Marchand, it might be Luosterainen's offensive ability, because Marchand certainly was bringing offense to those two kids. So one of those two, I would say Sam Iskevich or Luosterainen. SoFlo says another thing to take into consideration is now that we have to move guys to be cap compliant, we won't be able to give our top guys as many nights off during the regular season. Right. Right. Like if we would have known this, would we have even spent the money on Petrie? You know what I mean? Like that's 700, 800,000, whatever it is. Like maybe we would have just started the season with Balinskis and Kulikov. You know what I mean? Like one of those contracts, something wouldn't have happened. So it only makes sense that Zito knew about it, got Kunin, but then again, Boquist is still on the team. So Hungry says the hockey guy was floating the idea of the Cats running 11-7, leaving one spot open for a time to be cap compliant. We can do that, but the problem is, I don't think we have any two-way contracts. You're only going to get the full salary relief. I don't think Sam Miskevich is a two-way. I don't think anybody's got a two-way contract, so they've got to clear waivers to get down, I believe. I mean, you don't want to risk losing a guy. I mean, I guess you could send – no, I don't know if any – I think they have to be a two-way to move them down. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, very cool. Thanks, Jameson. Very cool. Matthew, yeah, Brad helped them a ton. Exactly. Yeah, we agree there, SoFlo. AJC. You think Entwistle can be the guy that comes back? Well, let's look at this. Let me put the old man glasses on and let's move some stuff around here. And let me share the screen and let's look at this. Okay, just give me a second. Come on, Jaws, type. All right, let's go. Puckpedia. All right, let me share the screen here. It's getting to the point soon on, I might just have to wear my glasses all the time because I'm wearing them so much that when I stop wearing them, I'm getting headaches. So, okay. Here we go. So So we got 7 and we got, what is that? We got 7 and that's 14, right? So there's an extra forward in there now, which why to me, it makes sense to just trade Boquist and you put Kunin in that spot and the problem is solved and we still have 13 forwards. To me, that seems like the cleanest way to go. In terms of defense, and Petrie's got performance bonuses. I don't think any of these guys can get sent down on a two-way without passing through waivers, and we're not going to get full. If you send Petrie down and he cleared, you don't get the full amount off of the contract. I don't believe. So you're either going to move Petrie and have somebody from the AHL come up on defense if one of the 6 gets hurt, or you're going to move Boquist and Kunin is his replacement, or you're just going to move Kunin. You're not going to move Nosek. I suppose if you wanted to get sketchy, you could move Noquist and make Boquist 4C. That's possible, right? I'm scrolling back down now to the chats. Hey, Pente, you think you should let Balinskis walk? I don't know. I know you're not a huge fan of his game, but when you look at the ages here on our defense, Kulikov's 34, Petrie's 37. I kind of like having somebody younger there. And also he can play forward if we get short a game. I don't think moving Balinskis is the move, in my opinion. I appreciate that, Matthew. Craig says Nosek is too good. Yeah, I'm just throwing stuff up against the wall that would work. That would work. So tariffs, thank you for bringing that up. Thank you. Tariffs is asking me, when am I going to make a Cameo account? And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your point of view, I actually do have a Cameo account. And unfortunately, somebody last week asked Kyle and I to do something, and the stinking email went to my Gmail junk box. Now, the email from Cameo saying that the request had expired went to my regular email. But for whatever reason, the request from Cameo went to my spam. So I didn't see it. So I don't want to mention anybody's names because it might have been a surprise. But I apologize for not getting to the request. It went right to my spam folder. And go figure, the first person to look me up on Cameo, and I don't get the stinking message. I've been meaning to say, I've been trying to remember to mention that, Tara, so I appreciate you bringing that up. Vincent says, I'm so old I can't work buttons anymore. Hey, I just can't type, that's all. Hungry, yeah, Balinskis eats minutes, yeah. Pente says, Flora's a wagon nowadays. Yeah, I mean, I hate to lose Rodriguez, right? We would all hate to lose Rodriguez. He's spectacular depth. You throw him anywhere in the lineup, literally anywhere in the lineup, and you know what you're going to get out of him. Hey, Adonis, and that's what we need. You say you're hoping Mackey takes a huge step. Fossey, I heard some Wing fans saying Petrie's a human traffic cone and can't play anymore. That was one signing I was a little bit surprised of, but I don't think anybody's trading us, and that's the other thing. If we have to clear space by trading, nobody's trading for Petrie. You're not moving Kulikov, right? You're not doing that. So it's tough. Vincent says my walls are too dirty already. What the hell are you talking about? The hell are you talking about dirty? You're talking about the ceiling? What the hell is Vincent talking about now? There's nothing on it. I think some days I think Vincent is Karen just trolling the stream, making complaint after complaint. Pente, yeah, I think that's what he got last year. You think he got close to 40 points. You don't see us on the website? We're there. I think it's just Flying Fluffy Hockey. Vincent thinks Petrie will not survive Pomo's camp. That's possible. Kazuma says if I could only keep one, I'd keep Rodriguez. But that's not an option when Tkachuk comes back. Somebody's got to go, unfortunately. Pente says if Samuel can't take his place and score some, he ain't worth the spot. I believe that he can. I just think that Paul Maurice is going to need to be convinced of that. Pente says, I don't want to trade Erod away. Guy makes $3 million max. He's a bit like Lusterani. You don't trade away those kind of guys. No, totally. I totally understand. Totally agree there. We'll have to see what happens. hungry. It's going. It's a lot of work. We're going to be streaming tonight down there. The wall is not. Pay no attention to the wall tonight on the Dolphins stream or on the football stream. The wall will be ready for Panthers. That's what's important. The wall will be ready for hockey. We've moved everything over. We got rid of all those shelves. And now I've still got a couple things on the wall, but it's just placeholders. The whole thing is getting. I got the new camera came in today, so we got to look and see. We got to fix the new camera up and see, okay, what parts of the wall are visible. Eyes. Terrace, let me see. I wonder if it's just under Jaws and Kyle. Let me see. Again. Oh, vey. Now I got to do the freaking verification code. Come on, already. Come on. All right, let's see. So, what are we under? It's Jaws and Kyle. That's what it's under. Yeah. Maybe I'll change that to Flying Fluffy Hockey so people can find me. I don't know why it wasn't Flying Fluffy Hockey. Let me put this on. Let me change the name so people can find me. Maybe that's what the problem has been. All right, I saved it. So we'll see if that makes a difference. Load this back up so I can see. Yeah, let me put a link here. Hold on. That's going to be my dashboard. So let me see. Let me find my page. It's not coming up yet because I just changed the name. Let me try it to what it was. No. Oh, for free. Here it is. All right. All right, here's the link for the. Here's the link. There we go. All right, let's see what kind of smart-ass comments Vincent has now. Okay. All right, back to whatever the hell it was I was doing here. Let's fix this so Vincent doesn't see the wall. Okay, it's important. Adonis, yeah. No, well, Samo, he's had his. I mean, he needs to be ready. We'll put it that way. I think he needs to be ready. Exactly. Adonis says, let's be grateful for what we have going. 2 cups is something not most people have seen in their lives. I'm enjoying this to the fullest. Exactly. I just hate it for Rodriguez because he's been here for the 2 cups. You hate to see we were this close to being able to keep everybody together. You know, I just wonder if Zito knew that this was going to be the way it was, if he would have worked so hard to sign Marchand. You know what I mean? Probably. Am I going to be doing a 24-hour hot? No. Probably not, Simon. Probably not. Yeah, we do have a ton of cap space next year for sure. There's Vincent. I'm barely surviving technology. I'm sorry. Sorry, Vincent. Yeah, there's an option on Jaws camera to roast someone. Yeah. There's the name. Shafasi says, I think Kunin can be like a Nick Cousins. That's the perfect analogy. Yeah, I'll agree with you there. I think we're going to like him. You know? And it's not that I dislike Boquist. It's just I don't see who else we're going to move on from to clear that space right now. He's at least a tradable asset. What's that? The Chunkins says Roddy needs to slip it. Louis Bossy and ride LTIR as well. Yeah. Yeah, like a week before Kachuk gets back. Oh, my groin. I'm out. I'll be back for the playoffs. Hungry says the NHL just couldn't give us that 1-year bridge. I know. It's just wild that they made the change right before the season starts. It's just crazy. But I guess we're the only ones in a real pickle right now. Anybody else? I know Vegas and Montreal got some issues, but they should be able to be solved, right? I should do my own Psychic Friends 1-900 number. Oh, I remember those things. Yeah. Yeah, that's something you young kids didn't have, was the whole 1-900 numbers. You had everything from the psychic hotline, phone sex. There were dating things where like you just called in and left a message like, I'm so and so, this is my age, and I'm looking for blah blah blah. You didn't, and then people could call in, like the women could call into a number and they would hear all the different voice messages that guys left, and that's how they had to choose to respond to the guys, was they listened to what the guy had to say, and if they like what you had to say, then they could leave you a voice message. It's wild. Colorado does too, Shafasi. No team has the issues like the Panthers. Yeah, I need to get another win. Yeah. Vegas is 7.6 over the Cat, but isn't that having to do with like Pietrangelo and I think there's something where he may not play again. That's crazy though. Colorado does too. Yeah, can we get Jaws dressed in Jamaican robes offering to predict the future? Maybe that's a decent idea. Oh, Miss Cleo. Wow. Yeah, I remember Miss Cleo. Oh, yeah. Yep. People call her, man. She made money. Vegas and Montreal have a dead cap with Pietrangelo and Price. Right. Yeah, the whole Price thing is just like, Colin, yeah, it all begins tonight for football. At least we'll have games over there to talk about. Colin's been doing good with the streams, getting everything moving forward. I've got a picks video coming out later on the football channel, so I'm a day late, but I didn't want to disappoint Kyle. He reminded me that Jaws was in the theater, so I said, okay, let's go. We had the whole theater to ourselves. Literally. It was nice. Vincent, football is this thing that it happens for a few weeks. It's like the opening act for hockey. Like when you go to a band that you really like, but you have to watch the opening act for like 45 minutes before the band. That's what football is. It's like the opening act for hockey. Did I watch the new No, I was never a big Beavis and Butthead fan. No. Oh, yeah. I remember the Miss Cleo ads. She could tell the woman who the father of her kid was. Right? Yeah, they could just go on Maury for that. Yeah, I saw that, Hungry, about letting streamers show the games. I know that they're letting Grossi do it. I don't know who else they let do it. Obviously, they didn't pick us. So we're not going to stream. We're streaming a Thursday night game. We're not going to do the Friday night game because we figure there's really not a lot of sense in competing with Grossi doing that. And Kyle doesn't want to do both games. But Sunday we're doing the Dolphins game and we're doing the Bills Ravens Sunday night. That's going to be the best game of the week, I think. Oh, he's doing Packers Cowboys. Oh my God. Yeah, Reinhardt charging 400, Ekblad 280. Ain't that something? Now, if I make one for Ekblad, I ain't paying Ekblad 280. He doesn't need my money. Kachuk says Vegas only gets the 3.8 cap relief for Berchandro. I don't know how it works if it's somebody that's like not coming back to play, like the Carey Price thing. I don't know how that whole situation works. It's very convoluted. And how did they get $3.8 million? Like, how do they just randomly come up with that number? Like, maybe it should have been like the maximum you can get is 50% of the cap hit. Like something like that might have made a little bit more sense. And does that 3.8, is that going to rise as the cap rises? Or is that a set number? Exactly, Vincent. Jaws, I was never a huge fan of Jaws 2. All they did, they just tried to recreate the first one. It wasn't even like a sequel. It was like they tried almost a scene-for-scene recreation without Quint and Hooper. You know what I mean? It was not, didn't have a purpose. Ryan Reynolds is part of a John Candy biography. That's interesting. I agree there, Safasi. I think the Panthers are going to play with a chip on their shoulder. Players who aren't expected to return this year get full cap amnesty. Okay. I see. So if Kachuk was out the full season, like if he was, does that happen to somebody who's not going to come back during, like if somebody gets hurt the second game of the year and they know they're out for the full year, do they get full relief because they're not coming back? Or is it still the 3.8? Okay, 3.8 is the average player contract from last season. Gotcha. Okay, that makes some sense. Nicolas Cage is doing a Madden biopic. The pictures of him dressed as John are uncanny. Oh, by the way, hold your ears, hide the children. I actually got a response to my email request from the Panthers. I actually got a response. It wasn't the response I was hoping for, but it was a response. It was not a response that makes me think I would never get the kind of access that I was requesting, but it was a polite no. But I at least got a response, which at least lets me know that the email address is working. So there's that. Kachuk says, basically my understanding is if you take the full cap relief, you're not eligible to play in the playoffs. Okay. All right. So then if somebody actually genuinely gets hurt and you use the full thing to replace somebody, he just can't come back. Okay. That makes some sense. When do we get the Erod news, JC? I don't think we're going to have to do that. It's still up in the air if how we're going to manage that whole situation. Because I guess we're getting some cap relief, so we only have to move some salary right now. Call me crazy, but if I'm the Panthers right now, I don't know. Maybe not. I was thinking you just say, well, Kachuk, you're taking a year off, but you can't cut him out of the three-peat attempt. So it's just it's really funky. Yeah, Petrangelo is probably out, but they haven't made that official yet, right? Vincent. Yeah, it was Addie. I don't want to say exactly what she said because then I'll give away the subject of the video. I'm not trying. She gave me what help she could give me without giving me access to the player. But I don't want to give away the subject of the video, so there's that. Yeah, we're streaming tonight, Spaceman. Hey, Eddie. Yeah, pay the fine, right? Right? Kazuma, yeah. Well, I mean, the Panthers YouTube channel has more subscribers, I think, than any of the other. The Panthers YouTube channel has like almost 100,000 more subscribers than the Dolphins. Like whoever they hired to run that thing, just like incredible. Crazy job. Because at one point I had more subscribers than the team did. Somewhere around 7,000 or 8,000. No. It was lower than, but whatever it was, at some point I had more subscribers than the team did. And then they hired somebody to run it, and they just went to the moon. Craig says winning helps that happen. I mean, it does. It does, but you know, they specifically hired people to just do that. You know what I mean? Right, Hungry. Yeah. There's only so many Miami-based mascots. That's true. But yeah, so at least I know the emails work, and I'm not on like I'm not on the do not reply to list. So that helps. That helps. I didn't get access to who I was looking for, but that's okay. I didn't really anticipate the answer being yes, but I also did not get anything blatantly that was no. So I won't be afraid to reach out again should something else come up, but I don't want to give away the subject of the review. It's taken me a lot longer to put it together. It's just like there's a million rabbit holes in this one story. Yeah, I heard about the dial-up being shut down this month for good. Yeah. Um, my dad still has AOL email. My dad is still at AOL. I never really had it. I've always been a Hotmail guy. Need to get me to 100,000 subscribers to access the Panthers to become the next Steve Dangle. Let's get to 10. We should get to 10, right? Yeah. We'll see. I don't know. According to Vincent, I'm too old and cringe. But you would think old and cringe would sell, you know? So we'll see. It'll all come together. I'm just happy we got something to freaking finally talk about at some point here. Have they announced when the camp is going to start yet? Like, what is it? It's the friggin' 4th. We should be less than 2 weeks away. We don't even have a date yet, does it? Was it at least a friendly interaction with the promise of a future friendship and a possible invitation to the facility? No. Definitely, it was definitely not. Friendly interaction, yes. The rest of that, no. But the first part, yes. It was definitely a friendly interaction. Yeah. Exactly, Hungry. Yeah, Dango wouldn't be a thing, right? I heard that, Kazuma, about next season starting. Yeah, there you go. And there's going to be 84 games? Jeez. Wow. Well, maybe they're going to do, hey, Praga, maybe they're going to do less preseason games. I mean, I'd be all for less preseason games. They're kind of useless, right? Preseason games are pretty, especially for a team like Florida. There's really no jobs up for grabs. It's really not. So I'd be okay. So yeah, the Cup final would be in June. Well, it's normally in June anyway. It would just be a little bit earlier, right? Like we've been towards the end of June. I think the first Cup was June 26th, I want to say. LeBron got his wish. Postseason will end 2 weeks before they do now, starting next season. Are they going to just vote to change it in the middle of the season and start playing 84 this year? I mean, are they just going to vote to change it after the season's halfway already played and they have to rearrange everybody's schedule to get the 2 games in? That seems seems consistent with their new effort now. Yeah, I mean, maybe 60 is up for grabs. That's about it. And I really just think that's going to be just a game-by-game health type of thing. Vincent says, next time ask for the ring first. Look at Spencer. Cornered Zito into an absurd contract, was third string, didn't play a game and got a ring. Yeah, it's a good point. He didn't get her. Yeah. Yeah, well, he was in the player assistance program, right? Was it? No. He didn't play in the playoffs. No, that's right, because that was the year that he was in the AHL the whole year, because the previous year. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, the Vegas year was the assistant program, and then the following year was when he played in the AHL the whole time. He still needs a contract. I think the funniest thing ever would be if we ended up getting him back. That would be the best thing ever. And that's the other thing. I guess there's no doubling down on salary retention now with the third team. Prague says Spencer was a hot goalie. Remember, he showed very well in the series against Tampa when Bob stumbled. Yeah, he came in and I mean he got game 5 for us and played well in game 6. We just couldn't score on Vasilevsky. We were in that game 6 game for until the third period. That series was a mess goaltending because I believe it was Bob Drieger, Bob Spencer. I believe that's how that series went. I think Bob was 1 and 2, Drieger was 3, Bob was 4, and then Spencer got 5 and 6. If I remember off the top of my head. You can't win. You can't win that way. And we didn't. And it showed. And then we somehow everything else got fixed. And we'll take it. And now the league is purposely passing rules just to screw with us. And that's okay. We'll win anyway. Praga, yeah, it's going to be a shooting gallery in Chicago, no doubt. You know, he doesn't have to stay. That's the thing with, is this his last year of his contract, or does he have one more year? Boy. Let's see. I think this is the last year, right? It was a 3-year deal. And so, yeah, this is the last year of his contract. So I would assume that if Chicago can't get him to agree to a deal, he's going to be an RFA. I would assume that maybe they might think about moving him if they can't sign him. But then again, if he's an RFA, they still kind of have all that power. I still think somebody could come along and offer sheet him, Montreal. Yeah, he's going to be tired of seeing pucks, that's for sure. Colin says the new Kraken jersey is also glow in the dark. Thought the date for training camp that starts is the 21st. That's what you heard. Let me see if it's. I haven't heard anything. Usually George puts out an article. Come on. See if we get a date for it yet. No, it's not up yet. As far as I can see, it's not up yet. We'll see. We're ready. At least let's start getting some kind of footage from guys on the ice, and let's just start hockey early. I actually don't mind that then with them starting hockey early next year. Right? That will make it kind of will make the off season shortened. Are they changing the dates to free agency? Did they move the dates to free agency to line up, or is it just going to be more time in between the Cup and free agency? All right, the Kraken's New Jersey. Let's see. Where is it? Is it on Twitter? Let me see. Looks like a Shark jerseys. Wait, what's that? Let's see. Come on. 59 minutes ago. Here we go. All right, hold on. I'll share the screen. I'll share the screen. So let's see. This is their third jersey. That's not. Is this it? What is that? The Muck Les Shoot. I'm not mispronouncing it on purpose. Muck Les Shoot Indian tribe. That's what the patch says. Huh. I don't need the schedule. Let me just look at the pictures here. Let's see. Is it whole pictures? No, it's just that, huh? It's pretty sweet looking. That is dark. That is dark, no doubt. What do you guys think? Muckleshot Casino and Resort. Gotcha. Looks like a shark jerseys with Seattle's color. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Glow in the dark though. That's gonna look pretty cool on TV. Yeah. Huh. Can you imagine if we did a glow in the dark leaping panther for our third jersey? That would be fun. That'd be too much fun for Viola, though. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to get one outside soon, Simon. It got hot now again. It's getting hot this weekend. So hope next week we're supposed to have great weather. So we're gonna try to get that done next week. I want to get that wall moving. Yeah, the Kraken jerseys are pretty good. Yeah, let's get a leaping cat. Imagine this. Glow in the dark with the brighter colors and everything. That's not bad. You know, you get the accents that glow in the dark. I'd buy that. Hungy says, I want reverse retro color jerseys with the leaping cat and the island shoulder shields. Aren't there places you can make like custom jerseys for yourself, right? Aren't there websites for people? I see people do that. I'm still waiting for my Forsling reverse retro to show up in the mail. They ain't never gonna. I don't think he bought it. I'm pretty sure. I think Kyle just didn't buy it. That's what I'm. That's what I'm thinking. So, all right. Colin and I will be live tonight, 8 o'clock over on the football. Yeah, any day now, Hungry. We'll be live tonight over on the football channel. He's not going to be live this afternoon, I don't think. He might be. I'll ask him. I didn't ask him. We're trying to get the finished product on the wall ready to go. And then we'll be back here tomorrow at noon. And then everything starts. Everything starts. We'll be doing both channels full time before we know it, and that's good. That's good. I'm done with enough time off. You know what I mean? Absolutely enough time off. So, all right, everybody. Appreciate all the love and support, and I shall see you if I see you tonight. If I don't see you tonight, we shall see you mañana at noon.